Is what the police did in Philadelphia on Sunday racist? Now, you might be asking yourself this question. You might be asked this question by people you know who are black and even who are white, but consider themselves fighting for the black man because they feel that the black man can't fight for himself or needs help. I'm not going to get into that whole debate. That's for another day. Today we're talking about what happened in Philadelphia. Now, I will play for you a 20-second clip. I believe that's legal for me to do under the fair use policy. And then I'll come back and we can talk about this some more.
There are two black guys sitting here meeting me? Yes, well, what did they do? What did they do? Did someone tell me what they did?
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
They didn't. What did they do?
Nothing. And the woman said it's for paying customers after they eat. They didn't do anything.
As you saw, the police were called in after the whole people, the two men, just sat there. I mean, it's not like the manager just called the police immediately. The manager, what I heard was that the employees first asked them to leave, and then they didn't, and they're like, all right, so, they wait for maybe, 20 minutes, something like that. They go and say, hey, we need you to buy something or get out. And they're like, no. And I believe I heard from Anthony Brian Logan that they said something like, you work $45,000 a year. And so, that's very rude to say to someone. And so they took it to the manager, and the manager's like, all right. And so they're like, hey, we need you guys to buy something or get out. And these guys still wouldn't leave. So they called the police on them. Now, there's two aspects of this. First is the rudeness. Second is the money. We're going to cover both. First, if you go into a place and you sit down and wait for your order and somebody comes by, sir, what would you like to eat? We have this, and this tonight. And you're like, shut up, fatty. And they're like, what? And you're like, shut up, fatty. I'm gonna order what I want and when I want. And they're like, excuse me, sir? And you're like, you know what? You can be working anywhere else in the U.S. and yet you're working here. Shut up and take my order, That's very rude behavior. Now, the notion that the customer is always right is a failed one, in my opinion. Now, that's another argument, but the customer shouldn't be able to say whatever they want. In a perfect world, everybody would be nice to each other, and we wouldn't have that kind of problem. But if you're being rude to someone, you're going to make them angry, and that's probably what happened with this. Now, we're going to go over the second factor, which is money. When you run a business, especially a business like Starbucks, you want live, warm bodies in the seats, occupying the seats, drinking coffee. You don't want nut jobs like, these two men just sitting there not doing anything. So let's put it from the waiter's perspective. Let's say you're in a restaurant, right? And it's one of those come in and sit down and, that kind of thing, like McDonald's, okay? And let's say what happens is somebody comes in, right, with their computer bag. They walk over to the table, put the computer bag down, they take the computer out, they place it on the desk, and they're opening it up, and they're working for 45 minutes straight. Nobody bothers them. They're just sitting there. You're like, oh yeah, they're doing nothing wrong. Actually, they're doing something wrong because they're not buying anything. McDonald's would be more than happy to supply this man with an endless supply of whatever drink he wanted, so as long as he would pay for whatever he's doing. Because they have free Wi-Fi at places like this. They expect you to come in. Sorry about that. They expect you to come in and they expect you to buy something if you're going to stay. If you're not going to buy something, then you're just dead weight to them. You're another person in there wasting their time and money and resources by just being there, okay? Now, there's another aspect of this called trespassing. When you walk into somebody's house because they've invited you, then they say, hey, something happened, you need to go, and you don't go, you're trespassing. You're being in there without their permission and without their consent. That's illegal. There's a law that you can break called trespassing, and it's a crime. These people said, hey, you guys need to get out, or if you're not going to buy anything. No, we're staying here. That's trespassing. Being on somebody's property without their consent or allowance is literally breaking the law, property law. So these people saying, oh well, you work 45,000 at Starbucks, blah blah blah. Oh, we ain't leaving because we don't need to, blah blah blah. That's rude, mean, and it's stupid. Now, the last thing I want to address is, were the police racist in arresting these men? Now, some might say that because these two men were black, it was automatically racist for them to be arrested. Let me tell you something. It's not racist if the police have a real reason to arrest you. Freddie Gray, it was not racist because he resisted arrest. Michael Brown was not racist because he charged at the police officer. Other cases, I mean, yes, there were some cases you could say, yeah, well, that was racist, and I might agree, but also in this case, it's not racist for the police to lead you out in handcuffs because you won't leave when they ask you to. It's common sense. Alright. So that's all I can get in today. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let us know what you think. Comment down below.